Hello and welcome to Maple Flavored Yoga. My name is Andy and this is Tucker. If you found your way to this class, I would really appreciate it if you would click the subscribe button. Also, feel free to like and leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. And you can also reach me by these means as well. This class is going to be a breakdown of wide-legged forward fold. This pose can be very intense. I know it is for me anyway. So we're going to take some time to learn proper alignment so that we are not putting unnecessary stress on our joints. And we're going to spend some time in the pose to see how it feels in our bodies. So if you're not seated, make your way to your seat. I'm going to have to move you, Tuck. So we're going to bring our legs out as wide as you start to feel that lengthening in the inner thigh. If you feel like you're tipping backwards, you can take the fleshy parts of your thighs and your glutes and roll them out to the sides. Or you can also grab a towel or a blanket and raise your hips off the floor a little bit. That should give you a little more stability so that you don't feel like you're rolling back. So one really important thing to note is that our toes are pointing to the sky as well as our knees. We want to make sure that our knees are pointing straight up. We don't want to be rolling forward or too far back. With this as well, we want to have our legs still very active. And if we decide to even come forward, we don't want to be rolling through the spine as always. We want to be hinging from the hips, coming forward, just to make sure that we're not putting any unnecessary strain on our back. So our legs are really activated, our sit bones have good contact with the floor. Our toes are pointing up to the sky as well as our knees. I like to take a few breaths here before I move any further, just to allow my body to kind of get on board with this very vulnerable pose. It's not very often that we are seated with our legs wide open, so sometimes it just feels a little bit strange. So before I decide, as I said, to move any farther, I just allow my mind and the rest of myself to catch up with what I'm asking my body to do. So as I said, we can stay here. You don't have to move any deeper. This is a very intense stretch already. But if you feel ready, you can begin to walk your hands forward nice and slowly. Again, not curling through our back, keeping our chest moving forward. Anytime you lead with your heart, it's hard to curl through your spine, so that protects your back. So you can stay here, and when you're inhaling, I like to create space. Exhale, try and move into any softness that you found. But some days that just doesn't happen, as we know, and that's totally okay. So connecting with our breath, legs are still very active here. Toes are pointed up. Inhale, create space. Exhale, you can move into any softness or space that your body is okay with. And maybe you test the waters and maybe your body's going nope, and then you come back out. That is also okay. So we'll stay here for 3 breaths. Nice, smooth, equal in and out breath through our nose. On your next inhale, we'll walk ourselves back upright. Whew. And then we'll take our hands and help our legs come back to center. And then we can windshield wiper our legs from side to side. I definitely have a lot of sensation from that. We can store a lot of energy in our hips. So sometimes doing these poses can be very emotional as well. So we'll come into this again, bringing your legs out as far as they'll go. If you want, you can kind of push into the mat and slide your hips forward a bit to make that widening a little bit wider. This will create a deeper opening. And when I say deeper, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's any better for you. If you're creating this shape and your body is not okay with it, it's going to be really rigid and guarded, and that can actually work against you if you're trying to gain flexibility, because your body's not ready for it. So it'll go into kind of like a fight or flight kind of mode, where if you're a little more gentle and you allow your body to open up and unfold when it's ready, it might take a bit more time, but it's safer for you and it's just better for you overall. So again, wherever you're at, that's where you are. Also, it's important to try and drop any expectations of how wide you think your legs should be, how far to the floor you think you should go. Just allow yourself to be wherever you are in your practice. So once again, maybe this is where you're going to stay. Do a little internal check. Your toes are pointed to the sky, legs are engaged, kneecaps are pointed towards the sky as well. Good contact with the floor with your sit bones. Inhale, your spine is nice and long. And exhale, you can begin to tilt forward if that feels okay. Only coming to where you find your minimum edge. And this is where your breath work becomes really important. That inhale, and exhale. This taps into our parasympathetic nervous system, and that helps your body realize that, oh, it's okay. This is a safe space, and that's when you might be able to find these little soft bits that you can kind of melt into. 3 breaths here. On your next inhale, slowly taking great care coming out of this pose. Allow yourself to really be present with the sensations that you're feeling. And then you can begin to help your legs back to midline. And again, we will windshield wiper from side to side. So we can come back to center. Any seated position that feels good. We're just going to really absorb that experience. I know for me that's always a really intense pose, so allowing ourselves time to recognize the sensations that we're feeling allows us to digest whatever we need to digest from that. And it also helps us to integrate the energy or the prana that was released and created through that. And we can bring our hands to heart center, bowing our heads. I want to thank you so much for allowing me to assist in your yoga practice. I hope you found this class helpful. Just know that wherever this life takes you, that you are seen, you are loved, and you are divine. Take care. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Maple Flavored Yoga.